Seriously ill while visiting China. And when the ambulance arrived to rush him to the hospital, he knew he was in big trouble. That ambulance was a motorcycle with 3 wheels.
In the summer of 2007, Lee University business professor Edmilo Hasso accompanied 30 students to China as a part of a cultural exchange program. A few days after he arrived, Hasso began experiencing unbearable abdominal pain.
Originally, I felt like my stomach was upset. It's like, man, there's something wrong with my stomach. I don't know what it is. And then as the day progressed, it became more painful. So it got to the point in which I was concerned. So I asked one of the professors, I need to go to the emergency room. So at that point, they took me to the hospital.
The first doctor thought it was merely a digestive upset and sent Edmilo back to his hotel with some laxatives. Later that night, the pain returned.
I had a pain that I was not able to walk. I had cramps in my stomach and in my legs. So we called the emergency room. So an ambulance came and picked me up. And kind of funny because the ambulance was actually a motorcycle with 3 wheels. So they put me in the back of this motorcycle and they took me to CS University Health Clinic.
The doctor ran several tests, but didn't tell Edmilo that his appendix had ruptured and poisons were already coursing through his body.
The doctor came to me and he said, well, I can only say one thing. I said, the thing that I can tell you is, I'm gonna give you an advice, and the advice is, make peace with your family. And I was not able to understand the translation. I said, what do you mean make peace with your family? He said, yes, you're going to die.
I really didn't believe what they were saying. I thought that this doctor maybe just didn't know what he was doing or what he was talking about.
He said, there's nothing I can do because my whole medical personnel is not here. And it's already 10 o'clock at night, they're already gone for the night, so there's nothing I can do. He said, you want to, I can give you some pain medications, or if you prefer, I can put you to sleep. And I said, what do you mean put you to sleep? He said, yeah, I can give you some sleeping pills. That way, if you die, then you will not feel it.
The Lee University students in China began praying for their professor. Meanwhile, the Hassos asked the doctor if there were any other hospitals in the area.
So at that point, the doctor said, well, there's a medical university here. Probably there, some of the medical students or somebody there will be able to help you.
Edmilo's wife and son transported him to the Zhengzhou University Hospital. There, the doctors again told the family to prepare for the worst.
I went into convulsions, and literally I felt my stomach growing. To be honest, the pain was so big that at that point I was actually saying, I think it would be better to die.
Jessica Hasso stayed at her husband's side while their friends continued to pray. Then, an amazing thing happened.
4 hours later, a doctor comes. And to my surprise, this doctor for the first time actually speaks to me in English. And he says, hello, my name is Professor Liu. He said, and I am a professor of internal medicine here at the university.
Dr. Liu immediately operated on Edmilo. After the operation, Liu visited him in his room.
He came to me about an hour later, and he asked me, who are you? And I said, why do you ask me this? He said, do you know who I am? I said, no, I don't know who you are. He said, I am the best doctor in China. He said, I'm so good. He said that as a matter of fact, when President Clinton came over here, they assigned me as his personal doctor in case something was to happen to him.
Liu then told Professor Hasso of a mysterious encounter he had with 2 strangers earlier that day.
He said, but 2 people came to my office, a couple of minutes ago, and they told me that I had to take care of Hasso. And I tried to tell him, but I don't know nobody in China. I had just been here for 7 days. He said, well, 2 men came to my office 30 minutes ago, and they told me that I have to take care of you because you are a very important person. And when he told me that, at that point, I realized that there was something bigger going on. That probably God, and I apologize, I begin to realize that God was involved in that situation. And doctor stayed with me for 15 days. And he never saw them again.
Dr. Liu explained to Edmilo why he had not died from the infection.
But he told me, I had never in my life seen this. He said, because I saw your lower intestine actually wrapping around your appendix to stop the fluid from coming into your abdomen. He said, it was very hard for me to take out that knot.
Given that he's operated on thousands of patients, over the past, I believe it was 20 years, he said he'd never seen this in his life. This was a miracle in itself to know that that normally doesn't happen, and it happened.
Edmilo got a surprise call from his father, a pastor in North Carolina.
He said, an hour ago, I was in the service. And I was ready to preach, and something took over me, and I told the congregation, I'm sorry, I cannot preach. Let's all get together and kneel down, and I need to pray for my son. I said, there's something wrong with my son. I don't know what is wrong with my son. We need to pray for my son. And it was kind of interesting because my father in the United States, 7,000 miles, different time zone, he was specifically praying with the whole church, at the moment in which I went into surgery.
During the 2 weeks that Hermilo was there, he shared his faith with his physician and a number of the patients at the hospital.
I started going to the rooms where all the other Chinese people were there, and I always asked them, would you allow me to pray to God? And they were surprised that a foreigner will come and tell them, would you like me to pray for God? And to my surprise, all of them say yes.
I believe that because the situation happened in China, that it did plant a lot of seeds for people in sharing the gospel, and to be able to, share our experience and, and tell them that, we believe that it's someone higher than us that has helped us get to this point.
I say, I don't know if you know that. I say, but I believe in God. And he said, well, I don't believe in God. I said, well, but I do believe in God, and I believe that God actually brought you right at that right moment for you to do this surgery. And he said, well, if that's what you believe, I guess I have to agree with you.